Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking topical steroid withdrawal or topical steroid addiction. And I wanted to give you guys some insight into this because I know a lot of you are either going through this, thinking about getting off topical steroids, and if you're on my channel, you pretty much want to heal your skin naturally. And I want to help you guys figure out whether you're having a food reaction or whether you're having topical steroid withdrawal. So let's start off with the basics. So what is topical steroid withdrawal? So basically when you go to the doctor and you want to get your eczema looked at, or if you want to get your skin looked at, see if it even is eczema, you'll go to the doctor, they're going to look at your skin, look at your symptoms, see if you're itching, see if your skin's red, and they're probably going to try to prescribe you either topical steroids or an antibiotic. So an antibiotic is something you would take orally, and the topical steroid is something, it's like a cream that you put on your skin. So when I was younger, I used topical steroids to control my eczema. So for me, what I did is I had it on my legs, and it was all over my legs. And like the cream really wouldn't work that well, but it would, but it wouldn't. So when I was younger, YouTube, I don't even think existed, and at the time I didn't know what to do. So I was like 10 years old. My parents took me to the dermatologist. They prescribed this cream, and what I would do every night is I would put it on my legs, and I would take saran wrap, like you guys know, like that clear plastic wrap, and I would wrap my legs in it and I would sleep that way. First off, that was miserable. Second off, I guess it worked, but it would only work if I did it that way. I would try to use it regularly. I would try to just like apply a little bit to it, and it didn't really do much for me. So I didn't really become addicted to it, or I didn't use it for a long period of time because it really didn't work all that well. I remember I would have patches here or there, and I always had this tube that would be in like my bedside table because I dealt with eczema my entire life, from baby all the way up until I decided to kick it in the can and be done with it naturally. So had I used it for a long period of time, or if I relied on it for my skin to clear up when I was younger, I would have gone through something called topical steroid withdrawal. And that's when you discontinue use of the cream and your skin explodes, basically. Your skin will get red, it'll get extremely itchy. You'll have it in places that you didn't even realize you had eczema. Some other symptoms are your skin will become very thin, but that's prolonged use of topical steroids in general. Another huge symptom is elephant skin. And basically, I'll try to insert a picture, but your skin, because it gets so thin, it doesn't support itself in the way that it's supposed to. So like your skin's supposed to be like this. But when you go through topical steroid withdrawal, your skin becomes so thin from the eczema, it comes together in these very bizarre wrinkles that almost look like a puzzle. They look like, I don't know, like a mosaic. And so those are some symptoms of topical steroid withdrawal. So let's say you've had relatively clear skin on your face, and then all of a sudden you decide, no, I'm going to try to heal this naturally. I'm going to stop taking topical steroids, and your skin just erupts. It'll like, so let's say you had like a couple patches here and you were dealing with it. You stop taking topical steroids and your skin, it spreads, it becomes extremely, extremely red. It becomes very, very unbearably itchy. You have pain, you have nerve pain. And so those are the signs and symptoms of topical steroid withdrawal. This can happen between 1 to 2 weeks of you stopping, and it can last, I guess, about 5 weeks. So the difference between having a reaction and having topical steroid withdrawal is topical steroid withdrawal tends to just take over. If you're having a reaction, you're going to have spots show up in different places. So for example, oh, you've always had it on your arms, but now you see it like a little patch on your leg, or the patch that you have seems to be growing. but it grows in a way where it's kind of patchy. So new patches are signs of reactions to food, leaky gut. Topical steroid withdrawal kind of just takes over wherever it wants. I've also noticed that sometimes topical steroid withdrawal, your skin will like bubble. It'll get very weepy, so liquid will come out of the skin. There'll be like lots of little bumps, and it's kind of different for everybody because the severity of the eczema that lies underneath the controlled cream will dictate how it looks when you stop taking it. Topical steroid withdrawal or topical steroid addiction can be kind of scary. You're more prone to having infection, which is kind of ironic because this is something that the doctors have prescribed to you, but when you stop taking it, you're likely to get an infection, which then you're going to have to take antibiotics, which is going to make the eczema worse. So going the doctor route tends to be an endless cycle of dysbiosis, of disease, of not being well, and that's really scary. And I knew that I had to heal my skin naturally because I didn't want to go through that. The best metaphor I can give you guys is topical steroids are this. So let's say you have a leaky pipe. So imagine a ceiling, and so like let's say you're on the first floor and your top neighbor up here, there's a leaky pipe and there's water dripping onto your living room floor. And you're like, oh no, let me call a professional. Try to get this repaired. So you call them up, and you know what they do? They patch up the ceiling. They'll put a board down, they'll make it look better, they'll put some fresh paint on it, and it doesn't look like you have water damage. Well, what he didn't do is repair the leaky pipe. So let's say the water keeps coming down, and eventually it's just gonna break and bust. And it's not fixing the core issue. And that's my whole point here, is like topical steroids are like that, where it makes it look like everything's okay, but it's not solving the core issue. And the core issue is leaky gut. Most diseases are caused by leaky gut. And another word for leaky gut is intestinal permeability, which just means your gut lining has holes in it from the things you've been eating. Your body's been abused by chemicals, by the things you eat, and you have to take initiative to repair it. The first step, what you can do though, a lot of people ask me if they should cut off topical steroids all of a sudden, or if they should change their diet and slowly stop using topical steroids. My answer to that is yes. I think to prevent the most suffering, you should change your diet first while slowly stop taking those topical steroids, because that's going to lead you to the less damage and the least suffering that you'll have to experience. So it may be too hard on your body to just completely stop. Your body's become addicted to it. Your body needs this. So if you stop immediately, you're going to have huge reactions. And hopefully it's not something like alcoholism, so people who have alcoholism can't just slowly stop drinking alcohol. They have to cut it off. But it is an addiction, and it's not an addiction. If you personally can handle slowly going off of it, do that. If you're somebody that, if you need to cut it off cold turkey and just say, no, I'm never using this again, I've decided today, I'm not going to do it, that's perfectly fine. You will probably have severe reactions. So if you think you're going through topical steroid withdrawal, see if you're having like little patches that are growing or showing up, or whether it's been miserable. If you've stopped taking your topical steroids, you feel achy and weepy and your skin is bleeding and cracking and it's a mess, you're probably experiencing topical steroid withdrawal. It doesn't last forever. You really need to get on a clean diet so that you can heal that, because that's putting you in such a dangerous space. So What I recommend using is either coconut oil, tea tree oil mixed with olive oil, geranium oil. You need to use essential oils mixed with a moisturizer on your skin because all of those essential oils are antibiotics. They're antibacterial or antiviral, which means they will stop the infection on your skin. So try to incorporate essential oils into your routine. And I hope this video helped you guys. Maybe it'll give you a little bit of clarity. You're not dying, you don't have cancer, your skin's just going through a really hard time. You know, the leaky pipes have completely busted and your body's just trying to repair. So be patient, start on that clean diet, avoid fridge foods, FREDG, fried foods, refined sugar, eggs, dairy, gluten, and that'll take you on a new step. So make sure you're eating whole foods. What that means is the food hasn't been processed. A whole food would be something like a cashew. What's not a whole food is like chips made out of cashew flour, just as an example. So you want to eat cashews, not processed foods that come in boxes. Try to go get vegetables and fruits. Eat organic if you can, because if you live in America, eat organic, please. We have some nasty chemicals. Our government doesn't really look after us as far as that, so eat organic in America. I can't talk for the other countries, but do that. So I hope this video helped you guys, and if you want to tell me your topical steroid story, please do that. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to read what some of my friends and clients are experiencing through their topical steroid withdrawal. So the other day I asked my group, so I have a Facebook group, and then from there I have like a messenger group, and we message each other pretty much every day. I've been asking them if they've been experiencing topical steroid withdrawal, and some of them have, so I wanted to just read you guys their reactions. So one person said, "I've stopped using it at the beginning of December, so I'm not sure if it's topical steroid withdrawal anymore. Maybe." Another person said, "Me, I used it my whole life. Now I'm not using it and I feel itchy all the time." And I asked, "What symptoms do you experience from topical steroid withdrawal?" One person said itchy, red skin, flaky skin, dry skin, which is typical eczema. Another person said, "Me, I've stopped using steroids in mid-November." And another person added that one of their symptoms is that their skin's very weepy. And I think this is a common theme with the topical steroid withdrawal, which doesn't happen that often for... You know what? I just realized that when I was in middle school, when I was around 11, 12, and I was wrapping my legs, my skin weeped. And it never did. If I stayed away from topical steroids, it would never weep. It would never leak out liquid. And it did that. So I guess I did experience topical steroid withdrawal. I guess if I would stop using it, the skin would just pour out liquid. I remember that from middle school. I was really embarrassed of it. But anyway, so I asked them if their flare-ups got bigger after stopping taking steroids. They're like, now, yes, it's bigger and more painful. And then something I've also seen with topical steroid withdrawal is that their skin can get a lot of dots on it. So like typical eczema will be kind of one big mass. It'll be like one itchy, dry skin. But when you've been using topical steroids, it's like it makes it smaller, but there's like a bunch of different dots. Not every case, but just something I've noticed. And so then, in the group we started talking about what to use as far as moisturizers, and I highly recommend one called the Honest Company Balm. It's all-purpose balm, and I'll link that in the description down below, and I'll send you guys a link to it to order off of Amazon, or you can just type it into Google if you don't live in America. So it's just the Honest Company all-purpose balm. I really trust that. It worked for me when I stopped topical steroids, when I was doing it naturally. That was great, and of course the essential oils. So again, I hope this video has helped give you guys some clarity. You should join my Facebook group if you want support, if you want to just whine about eczema, if you just want to cry about it, because all these people are going through it at the same time, and they're very supportive. It's a very loving environment. So just type into Facebook, Healthy Skin, Happy Living, and then you can put my name and it should come up. So I'll see you guys there. And if you want to join like our little Facebook chat group, just let me know in the group that you want to join and I'll add you. See you guys in my next video. Bye!
Crashing waves, I wanna see them.